again, Gary here from the Bushcraft Dads, and thank you for clicking play on a video entitled The Biggest Load of Junk You've Ever Seen on YouTube. I'm going for that whole ironic title. Hopefully people will be curious and watch it, or maybe they won't, who knows. Now the idea of this film is I'm going to show you 10 things that would ordinarily be thrown away, some household items, some stuff you might rescue out of a skip that will be useful for use in the outdoors. Various types of outdoor activities, a semi-permanent camp, backpacking, a one-nighter, overnight trip, or even family camping. Okay, and I'm going to dedicate this film to a guy I know on YouTube called Dave Pearson, otherwise known as Really Big Monkey 1. About a year ago he was good enough to do a tag film for me, and I promised him I would make a film or I invent something and dedicate it to him. If you've not seen him, please check him out. His name is, well, channel name Really Big Monkey 1. You might have a job taking him seriously at first, but yeah, incredibly entertaining. Now the idea is my lovely assistant standing to the side of me here, she is going to pass things into me one at a time. Now for anybody who's on YouTube, if you've ever tried reviewing something, reviewing is effectively explaining something. Okay, now if you've ever tried it, and I'm sure all YouTubers have come up against this, it's easy to start talking about something, sometimes it's difficult to know when to finish. Okay, so for that reason my lovely assistant is going to keep a stopwatch and going to be on the timer 1 minute per item. So after 50 seconds she's going to give me a warning, 10 seconds to go, wrap it up, pass to the next one. That way there won't be excessive waffling, and I'm going to do this in one take. Okay, well this is a separate take. I'm going to start again. It will be 10 minutes start to finish, hopefully one take. Okay, some people edit their films, but believe me, it's so much easier if you just run straight through. So I just now ask my lovely assistant to pass me something. Okay, lovely assistant, if you would be so kind. Number one, can you guess what it is? An oven rack. Basically, if you see an oven dumped at the side of the road, stop, get one of these out. This is there's only one real use for this, and that's for cooking on. Now this is not so much a Boy Scout trick, this is more like a Scout camp leader cook trick. What you do, if you dig a 6-foot fire pit, have fire on half of it, about 1.5 foot wide, you stick these on, maybe 2 of these, and you can stick your whacking great pot on. Try boiling a pot of water the size of a microwave oven. It's going to take about half an hour to 40 minutes just to boil it. You're going to waste a hell of a lot of gas. So if you're cooking, like I say, for over 100 people, dig a big fire pit, stick that on, absolutely perfect. So there we are, that is item number one. Number two, one of my personal favourites. There we go. That is it's a shoe hanger, basically, and it has got so many uses. If you want to hang your coat up from a tree, stick that on, stick it on the hook. What I've used it for on many times, if you're making a tarp shelter. Okay, now we all love building tarp shelters. The only problem is if they're open fronted, the bugs can just come flying in. What I tend to do is have a bit of mesh net on the front. This is absolutely perfect. Take a few of these, stick them on to hang your tarp from. Also, if you're drying a towel, you're on a backpacking trip, you want to dry your towel, stick it over your tent. Useful for that. It is basically a heavy duty clothes clip. So yeah, like I say, they are free. You tend to find them lying around on the floor. That's my 10-second warning. Lying around on the floor of your local Walmart or any shoe shop. Yeah, I know some people call that stealing. There we go. Thank you, lovely assistant. There you go. You can probably realise what that is. Basically a ready meal that you bought from the supermarket. It comes in an aluminium tray. This one has been used before, as you can see. If you're doing your first wild camp, let's say you've got no equipment, you've just gone out and bought yourself a tent or a sleeping bag, you haven't got much else, you've got no pots or pans or anything, this is absolutely ideal. Light a fire, stick that on, you can cook sausages, burgers, whatever. It's absolutely perfect for that. Saves carrying around any pots and pans. Also, I think most of you will be familiar with the term a hobo meal. Basically a hobo meal, you wrap it up in tin foil, all the ingredients, bung it in the fire, maybe turn it over once. It's a lot easier if you use this as your base than wrap the tin foil around, because you don't get leakage. You're guaranteed, obviously, it is sealed on the bottom. So there we are, ready meal, baking tray, always useful. And this, other products are available. Hands up, how many of you ended up with 3 of these just after Christmas? Now this is an idea I come up with. I was literally walking out the door, me and my daughter were going out to do some cooking in the woods, cooking a breakfast wrap, and as I was going out the door I thought, you know what, that makes an absolutely perfect dinner plate. Other dinner plates are available, you're absolutely right, they look like this. This is a titanium plate. The trouble is, I find them a bit small and a bit bowl-like. So yeah, as long as you're not eating wet food, absolutely perfect, especially if you're making wraps. They're nice and flat. Also good for a chopping board. So any kind of food preparation or eating, there you go. No more single-use plastic. And this, there we go. Known in my country as an empty bog roll. What possible use could this have, I hear you say? Well, let me explain. If you're a good bushcrafter, if you're a good bushcrafter and you watch a lot of YouTube, you'll know what this and this is used for. The best and cheapest firelighter. This is one of the best things I've ever learned off of YouTube for lighting a fire. You could probably make 100 firelighters, maybe more than that. Like I say, with some cotton wool, be nice and generous. Once you've done that, what do you do with it? You're going to need something to put it in. Get your cotton wool, put it in there, flatten it down, make 10 at a time whilst you're at it. As you're going out the door to do a wild camp, just grab one of them. That's my 10-second warning. There we are, just makes a nice base to light your fire on. And this, yes, it's a plastic tub. Now, a lot of these have been thrown away right now. We are moving from recycling tubs to wheelie bins completely. I mean, a lot of people are using these. You can use them as plant pots and what have you, but a lot are being thrown away. Once again, it's single-use plastic. Yes, it can be recycled. I use these things constantly. In my gear room, I must have, I don't know, 7 or 8 tubs, a lot are bigger than this. And one trick I have found, if I go out on, let's say, a solo overnighter, when I bring everything back, instead of putting it in the individual tubs like your cookware here and your sleepwear there and blah de blah, and I do that anyway with various tubs, what I tend to do is have what I call my frequent flyer tub. If I've been out on a trip, everything just in that tub, my 10-second warning. That way, odds on, you're going to use the same stuff each time. So bung it in there as soon as you come back. This, yes, it's a house brick. Now this will come under the heading of a semi-permanent camp. Obviously you're not going to want to carry a house brick into the woods. The strange thing is, and I'm sure I'm not the only person that's discovered this in England, you tend to find a lot of them in woodlands. I don't know why, everywhere you go there's a house brick, but if you can find enough of them, you can use that as the base of your fire. If you want to be really environmentally conscious, there is a bit of a thing on YouTube. People are saying don't ever have campfires. I've got 2 lovely assistants, by the way. One has 4 legs. If you've got enough of them, you can make an entire fire base. You can make a fire pit with it, or you could just have a couple of them at the side of your fire, just for putting a pot on. So yeah, like I say, house brick. You wouldn't want to carry one too far, but there you go. It's the only one I could find. That's my 10-second warning. This, yes. Can you see that? Yeah, this one will come as a bit of a surprise. Yeah, see what I did there? This is the inside of a Kinder egg. I assume they have them in America. They're certainly quite popular in this country. And again, this was something I thought of as I was going out the door, this is what I use it for. You're going on a backpacking trip for 6 days, put 6 days worth of toothpaste in that tub. So count out your blobs of toothpaste, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however many. Or you can use it for just a container for putting salt and pepper sachets that you've acquired from a well-known takeaway outlet. Again, some people call that stealing, but they do say help yourself. But yeah, always useful. The toothpaste idea, to be honest, this is more about the toothpaste idea than it is the container, because you can get containers with screw tops. But yeah, get your however many days worth of toothpaste, have it in a small container. And this, not so easy to come by. Okay, bigger models are available. This is known as a cable table. It makes a lovely bit of garden furniture, but for the outdoors, again, comes under the heading of a semi-permanent camp. You can get them in much bigger sizes. Like I say, you don't see them all that often, but just Google a cable company, put in cable company in your hometown, you'll find one nearby. Go around the back of their warehouse, you will find many of these kicking around. Don't just grab them, check with someone. They do, if they're used, they're going to be thrown away. So yeah, the old cable table. And number 10.